2J crank.
Is it?
Yeah, that's it, that block over there.
Yeah, right. Well, it's given me a nice
massage.
Yeah. Well, man, thanks for joining me. Man, we may as well kick it right off. I'm going to take you back. You know, we've obviously only met not long ago, and
Yep.
we've connected, and we've both got similar interests, and we both got
definitely
stuff that we're doing. But what I firstly want to ask is where did you're obviously super into cars. Where did that start?
I can say that pretty much as a baby, I don't know, pretty much as soon as I could walk, I was pretty much bred into it. Like my dad's always been into racing and whatnot, and uncles and whatnot, always been out at the track growing up, and just always had something to do, and something to do with cars. And yeah, I still remember there's actually a photo of me probably just barely able to walk, sitting in a toolbox, buddy, smacking tools on an auto tranny, like.
Yep.
So it was pretty much born into me.
Yep.
But just loved anything to do with cars, and like I was born and raised up in Mackay, and not that big of a car scene there. Like there's a track nice and close to town, which was good. You go out there whenever you want, take whatever you had. But no, it was always good. Always wanted to be bigger and better. And
yeah.
And
so did your dad have a car growing up, or?
Yeah, a few. I can still remember back to like he had a 6-cylinder powered Tirana, a Hemi powered Cortina. Like the list goes on. Like there's been a few cars over time, but
yeah,
it's just always been fun in the shed, helping out. Always down there.
Yeah, right.
Having a good time.
Because man, that's what I see. Like, and it's true for myself as well. Like it all comes from like your family, and sort of when you're growing up as a young lad, that's kind of where it comes from, and then it like develops into. Well, for everyone, it's different. It develops into like a passion or whatever.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
And some guys end up going for, Audis and Lambos and whatever, and then other guys gravitate towards like the stuff that you and I've gravitated towards.
Yeah, 100%.
So I always like to ask that because, I don't know. I guess it sets the tone because. You've got. Well, tell us a bit about what's going on. Like, what room are we in here? Like,
currently sitting in the engine room. We've not long knocked up. Me and help from some mates. Just knocked up a bit of a room to be able to do a bit better engine work in.
It forms part of like a larger shed.
Yeah. Just in the corner of the shed we have, and a bit better than building them on the ground, so to speak.
Yep.
In the dust and whatnot. But yeah, nice little aircon room. I've only onto the first motor actually in here, building at the moment. But
you've built more than
built a few motors.
You mean it's the first motor in this room?
First motor in this room.
Yeah.
The first one I've been able to actually do in a half decent room. Everything else has kind of been a struggle, but get there in the end, and got a few cars out there running around now that I've had my hand in, and which is pretty good.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, you and I met at a power cruise. Well,
I think it was Power Play.
Yeah.
Not sure. I think that's the first time we actually had a chat.
Yeah, but I've seen a few of your like the stickers of your business. So tell us about your business. Like, what's going on?
Yeah, so I started that. How long's it been now? Probably 5 years ago. Just advertising on Gumtree. Just a toolbox in the ute of my ute. I was still working for just a mechanical mob at the time, working there during the day. But then as soon as I left, I'd have people booked in, and I'd be going out doing servicing, repairs, whatever else after work and weekends, and just really, really, really wanted my own business, and just struggled like that for a couple of years, still working and doing that on the side. And so of course it was pretty flat out, just doing two at once. And then it got to the point where I don't know, I've never really liked working under people. I don't know, that's just I don't know, authority.
Did you have some shitty bosses, or like?
Yeah, I've had some really good ones, but also some really bad ones. And I don't know, I've always liked running the show. Always just liked calling the shots, and I've just always wanted my own thing going on. And I suppose I think it was a year and a half to 2 years ago now. Yeah, I pretty much didn't have stuff all in the bank. Like, I just got to the point where work was building up that bit, wasn't quite enough, but I just went stuff it, and I ended up leaving my job and went out full time on my own. Just had myself available, and the work actually picked up, and it was a struggle at the start, but worked like that for a bit and just built the ute up pretty much. Just still.
So this is your work ute, and that's got all your tools in it, because you do mobile like servicing and
pretty much anything we can do at the shop we'll do mobile, other than engine rebuilds and stuff like stuff where you really need a workshop or a hoist. But majority of stuff we do mobile anywhere. Mainly my trade's actually trucks, heavy machinery fitter. But I don't know, I love this kind of stuff. I love performance. I've always been into drag cars and burnout cars, no matter what it is. But it was always destined to get into, and I've just really loved it. Started off building it for myself, and as we've seen, like winging it, I built that a couple of years ago, and it speaks for itself, kind of thing. And I just really enjoy doing it. Really enjoy being out there at the car days. Just good group of people, just having a good day. Just really takes any stress, any anxiety or any load from just the everyday life. Just when you're out there, you don't think of anything else. It's just you just want to do a skid. Fully, man. I got to say, like, from the first time that I remember seeing you and going, that's that guy. We still hadn't met, but I just noticed, like, from a personal point of view, like you were out there doing this crazy stuff, and like we've talked about this, how that's what the crowd wants to see. And 100%.
Your car and my car are kind of similar.
Pretty much
in a lot of ways. And I remember looking at you're in the power skids. Like, you might have even entered the drift comp. This is at Power Cruise or Power Play or whatever.
Pretty much went out to every event I could smack the tyres on and just gave it a go.
And dude, from me seeing someone do that, I was like, man, that was like something for me to aspire to.
Yeah, nice.
So when we met down in the staging lanes and had a chat, like the last Power Cruise last year, I think I've got a video up on my YouTube channel of all you and the boys in the power skid comp.
I remember that.
Cool. So with the business, you're like, what's a typical day for you at the moment?
At the moment, kind of just getting back into the roll of things after Christmas. Always does slow down and whatnot, but just trying to get back into the groove of things. It is building up work pretty good again, which is good. But there's always that struggle of customers paying and regular customers paying and whatnot. But I mean, everyone you talk to with business, they reckon that's the hardest thing. It's just trying to get money out of people. But no, it's been a bit of a struggle. But I like the odd quiet day. It gives me a chance down here to either work on the toys or tidy up the workshop or continue to make it better, like like this engine room and whatnot. And it's just works out pretty good at the moment.
And you're taking on a bit more performance work?
Trying to, it's pretty much, I just haven't really put it out there, I suppose. And then that's
why was that? Like, you were...
I don't know. I think it's more getting the confidence. I could build my own stuff, but just trying to confidently put ads out there. Like, I don't know. It's just all in my head kind of thing. Just because I wasn't, didn't have a big name or, the big flash workshop building these big motors, like, so you don't feel like you can do it. But like over what I've learned over the last year or so is you pretty much got to push it. You've just got to set your mind to it.
Dude, I absolutely love that.
Realize you can you can do anything. You just got to put the time and effort in.
Man, I mean, so true.
100%. It's just...
And well said. From someone who is actually out there, boots on the ground, doing it.
Oh, yeah.
That's just absolute gold.
You've always got to push yourself.
Yeah. Have you ever sort of doubted, like had moments of doubt where you might sort of worry that you've jumped into something too quick or...
100%. It actually happens. It's happened a couple of times where I've almost thought, just this is going to be a lot easier. Just go back to a job, like
Yep.
just go get the paycheck every week. But I don't know, I have my bad days, and then I calm down a bit and
Yep.
I just realize, nah, this is what I want. Like, I do love doing it, even as stressful as it is. But it's still, I'd rather turn up here every day or turn up to mobile jobs every day. Just, you know, I'm still a lot happier doing that than I am working for other people, or just knowing that's all you're going to earn out of the week. Whereas owning a business, you know, you can earn as much effort as you want to put in, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to work every day and pump it out, well, yeah, like.
I got a random question. How important do you think that, like, relationships are, as in, like, with other people, not your missus, but like other, you know, people you work for or with or around or whatever?
Oh, it's definitely a big part. Like, just from what I've learnt, I approach customers, like, I'm real friendly and we get along and have good chats. And I don't know, I've never tried to really be harsh or nothing. I've actually found it's worked out all right, other than the odd few. But I've found in the situations where you do get a bit narky with customers that just don't want to play the game, like, you know, it just ends up worse for everyone, kind of thing. But so I've tried to keep pretty well a good relationship with anyone I work with.
Yeah.
Even parts, it comes down to parts suppliers. You know, I go in there and I'm, you know, known by name. You just have a chat, like, kind of thing like that. You just try to have a good relation with everyone, and everything works a lot smoothly.
Yeah.
The worst thing you need is just people either down in your business or just running you into the ground, anything like that. So we always tried to keep a pretty clear name. And
yeah, well, because you're doing that engine there, and for the keen eyes who can spot it, that's an LS block.
Yep.
And that same dude just did some work on the shed.
Hey,
is that right?
No. That one's for a different one. That's for a different. Yeah, this one's actually got a good deal with a guy. He does our stickers and polishing.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And whatnot. And yeah, so we're building that to go into a Sigma. Hopefully in the next couple of months. But no, we got a few other deals going around. But yeah, as I was saying, it's pretty much the first motor I've had in here to be able to just try and get into pretty decent and pump out and see how this one goes. And 2J sitting over there on the bench, which will be interesting.
Crank poking me in the back.
Yeah. That one should see 1,000 horsepower, hopefully.
Wow.
Well, yeah, pretty well, definitely.
Yep.
But so there's a bit of variety. It's not just all about one engine or one build. Pretty much anything you can make go fast. It's just how hard you want to try.
Yep. Yeah, man. So we got like a bunch of cars out there.
Oh, yeah.
How many of them are yours, and like how many are customers?
There's a couple customers / people I've known for a while, mates and whatnot. Also paying jobs as well. But yeah, I do have there's a Gemini out there. That's a family car. We've had that in the family a long time. Mm-hmm. I really want to build that again one day, and we're slowly getting into it every now and then, and got a lot of stuff there for the motor. But we've also got a Mark III Supra there that I'm currently tweaking with. It's got a LS1 sitting in it. Looking at twin turbo manual, but that one's still just pretty well making up mounts and everything still at the moment. Making a firewall and just changing all that up.
That's a big job, man.
Oh yeah, definitely. So that's the thing about pushing yourself. I've always done mechanical stuff and gone, you know, welding's not my thing, you know, but then, you know, you just got to take it on. And since we've had the shop and just been able to have the room to do whatever we need to, I pretty much do it all myself now. As you've seen, like on your exhaust, you know, that we knocked that out pretty good.
Yep.
But
I'll leave a link to the video for that up in the corner here as well, just by the way.
But yeah, just kind of pushing itself. I've never built a firewall yet, so that's kind of why we got that one. And the Gemini also will be doing the custom floor and firewall, just pushing the motor right back, just trying a few different things.
Yep.
And but yeah, we always have a few things going on. There's a couple of customer jobs out there we got going on. but always seems to be busy, and not always down the shed all the time. Being mobile, there's some days where I could go a couple of days without even opening the shed. But is what it is, I suppose. Until I get a few extra people working for me, then you kind of just got to deal with it as it comes.
Yeah. From everything you've been saying, it really sounds like you're for lack of a better word, like not happy with where you are. You want to do more. You want to expand. You just said you want people working for you and stuff like that. Like you'd probably be no stranger to people who you might share that with, and they'll try and knock you down, or they'll try and like tell you that you can't do it, or just generally negative people. Like, what's your view on that? Like, how do you deal with that shit? Like,
you just, I don't know, don't take it to heart. Like, everyone's got their own views. At the end of the day, you got to try your hardest. You got to push the hate away. I mean, I probably did. There was a few people over the years I've hung out with that aren't really good. Like, no good to hang around. They kind of bring you down, stuff like that. And I don't know. Lately, over the last couple of years, I don't know. Having a business is also very busy. You really, unless mates like yourself or a couple of the others that actually come down to the shop and love doing the same stuff. I rarely really see any other friends or much else at all, really. But
well, that makes sense, because those negative assholes are sitting at home on the couch.
Just
talking shit.
Keyboard warriors.
And not down here where you are, because you're working.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
It could be late nights down here. Just, if you want something, you've got to work for it, pretty much.
Yeah. Man, I don't know, I guess we're a part of this generation where there's probably like a stigma where people aren't hard workers, but like here you are. I think you and I are around about the same age. I don't know.
Most likely.
And here you are, like, working your ass off, and you got a young
little
kid?
girl. Yeah, she's just gone 6 months.
Wow.
She's definitely in my life.
Yeah. But you're still down here. You're still, working, providing. You're like driven as.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And that's great. Like that's why I think I gravitated towards you, because you can just feel. I don't know what it is, man. I mean, I'm not trying to like blow wind up your skirt, but it's like you're just kind of like. It's kind of like you're like attracted to it, I guess, by because I want to do some stuff. You're doing some stuff.
Yep.
Like, I don't know.
And that's what I love. I love getting people involved. I know people have always at first just a bit reluctant because it's like a workshop and they're like, oh, don't want to take up your space and shit like that. But I'm like,
that's like me.
I just love it. That's why I said, come down, just jump in, help out, show you a thing or two. Like, just get into it. I love the car game.
Yeah.
Love being out there, love having a good group of people just to always go out with and have a good time. But yeah, it's pretty well in my blood.
It just sounds so wholesome. I don't know. Like it's.
But there are downsides. Like, I mean, you do miss a bit of stuff. Like, I do feel bad for my girlfriend a lot of the time. Like, there is a lot of stuff we don't get to do. Well, there's a lot of stuff I miss out on. She goes there alone. Like just pretty well because I'm down here working or being called out to on the side of the road, a broken truck, or and I've been working 6 days a week. I think since I started, I've rarely had a Saturday off unless I've needed to. So kind of make Sunday the family day, just to at least have a day. But no, I really give it to her for putting up with how busy, and
shout out to the girlfriends or the partners.
Yeah. She puts up with a lot. Like, I know she's always said from the start that she's never ever met anyone that just has love for cars like I do. Like. Even come down to selling one, you get a little bit sad if you've fucking got a bit of history in it or something. Like, actually get attached. I've always found I get attached to cars. Like, like the VB I think I've had for about 8 years now, and I know I can say right now that I'll never ever sell it ever. Like, I'll see my daughter driving it. Like, that's the plan. So,
yeah, cool.
Yeah, it's pretty well. Yeah, so
have you ever sold one that you've like regretted?
100%. Never got to drive it actually on the road. I was actually too young,
man.
but it was I'm pretty sure it was a HZ 1 ton. It was actually clean. We found photos of it not long ago, and I was actually kicking myself. But I was only about 15 or something like that at the time, or 14. And it was actually my dad's friend. It was actually his dad's car. Had been sitting for a while, pretty much just in like a shed covered in cobwebs and dust. And so we picked up that and cleaned it up, and I don't know, it sat there for a bit, and then I think we just realised it was still a few years before I even had my learners. So we ended up getting rid of it at the time. But obviously, if I had known they'd be, that hard to get, like definitely kicking yourself. It's definitely one of those ones that I wish I had kept.
Chrome bumper tax, COVID tax.
Yeah. It'd be through the roof now.
Oh no. But yeah, I guess there is always one that got away.
Definitely kicking myself over that one. I mean, I probably didn't have much of a choice or option in it at that time, just, because it was the first car that got bought for me and whatnot. But I was just a bit young. It sat there for a while, and we just ended up getting rid of it. But would have been definitely a good one to keep.
So what, like, when you think to yourself what you want to do in the future, what is it?
I'd love to be, a lot of people talk about being rich, not having to work, like all that kind of stuff. But it sounds all good and well, but you get bored. I'll always build cars for the rest of my life. Like I got goals to have. I'd really want to have like my own property, own house, and build a pretty big workshop down the back, and be able to essentially work from home. Build race engines, race cars, pretty well in my back shed, as well as have a fleet of people going out, under Damo's mobile maintenance, like doing all the dirty work to trucks and just running, general public, like
running that business.
Have a fleet of them running around, and I would ideally love to, just be in an engine. Like I'd love to be in an engine room all day, just building motors, or in a nice workshop, building race cars or building nice cars. Just get right into the performance. I'd really love that. I'd love to be at that kind of point. And
man, you're certainly doing everything you can to get there.
Definitely trying.
I have no doubt that you're going to end up doing that, and like whatever you want to do, like if you got the drive, I'm sure you would agree, if you've got the drive and you're willing to put in the work and make the sacrifice, then you can get like whatever you want.
Because there's, you see a lot of people, they work during the week, and it's like, big week, I'm stuffed, and you just don't want to do nothing after work or weekend. So where you're just not really going to move much further from there. Like in my spare time, like I was working, I was trying to improve it, I was trying to do something, something to just build up. I never wanted to be where I was at. I always wanted to get further. Have my own business. And honestly, in Mackay, probably 7-8 years ago, there was no way, if you had said to me I'd have a workshop in Brisbane, I would have laughed in your face. Definitely, growing up in a small town, it was like, this was the big smoke, like, you got to be doing well to make it here, or, that's how it was always thought of. But all it took was a very attractive young lady, and followed her down, and that's what actually brought me down, and so I had somewhere to stay.
So she moved down here, and you weren't sort of planning on doing it?
No, actually, I'd never ever thought I was one of the people, like, born and raised in Mackay, I'm here for life. But she ended up wanting to move away, and I was gutted by it. And her family, it's because of her family, was down here, and she'd moved up to Mackay, and just to, I don't know, try a few different things and get out there. And she'd pretty well had enough, and she was just wanting to move back home. And she moved back, and it was only probably months later that I was packing my shit, heading down, staying with her, and ended up finding a job pretty quick. And started out at the Brisbane airport, just mechanical work, and started from there, and yeah, started doing it at the back of the ute and whatnot, and
Man,
yeah, it just
that's a cool story.
yeah, it took a bit, but a lot of hard work, and definitely moving 12 hours away is a big thing, especially from family. And like I was still living at home too, so you go straight from home to moving 12 hours away. That was a shock. But after a few years, you know, some of the family followed, some family and friends and whatnot, and Dad come down, and Mum and the little younger brother, and me and Dad kind of teed up pretty well, and he's scored a pretty good constant work where he is at the moment, contracting. So that's why he's rarely down here. But
you and him sort of share the responsibilities for the shed and that.
Yeah, 100%. Like big props to him. Like if he if it wasn't the two of us, I don't know, just I wouldn't have nothing like this if I was still on my own. Like it does help out to have that extra. Like he's been a mechanic. He's been a mechanic for a long time as well. So we work pretty well together, and just.
You're right. Doesn't matter.
Turn it off.
Busy man.
Yeah, it doesn't stop. I'm surprised it's not ringing.
What do you reckon it is? Gumtree?
Could be anything.
Because you got ads on Gumtree, right?
Yeah, Gumtree. That's actually how I started. Pure and solely Gumtree, and then that was before Facebook. Before I even made a Facebook page, and then made the Facebook page. But I just always found with Gumtree that it just, I don't know, it exploded. You'd paid $20 to boost your post, and I'd had 4 or 5 posts running, and phone was ringing daily.
So what's the go there? Because I've actually, I've never really paid to boost a post on Gumtree or whatever.
I think they just bring it to the top, or when people search mechanic, yours is more often to be at the top or something, the more you pay and stuff like that. That's why I've got various ads out there as well. So the more ads you get out, the more you're on there.
So what kind of setup, just for like the value for the people watching, like what sort of setup did you have when you first went and put out like a Gumtree ad?
My ute.
Like what were you doing? You had some tools in the back of the ute, and you'd go out and...
Yeah, I'd always had my tools, just being a mechanic for a fair while. And so I'd always had the tools and whatnot. And I had this ute, and I think it was a couple of side toolboxes on at the time. And at the moment I've got a big enclosed box on the back now. But at the time it was just tool bags, some oils and a drain tray and a jack. And I'd just... whatever I could tackle, some jobs I'd have to turn down and just say, you don't have the resources pretty much or a workshop to do so. But
you took whatever you could and whatever you could do, and
pretty much anything I could. And then it just took a couple of little truck companies I got onto that started sending me all their work, which started helping. And
so how did that start? Like you did sort of one job for them because they were in a pinch and needed something quick. And they just called you and...
a lot of them have actually come across from me that they couldn't get into their mechanic, or a lot of people are bloody getting screwed over majority of the time. Like the amount of people I get to come here from dealers and whatnot, they just say they're just getting screwed over. Is unbelievable.
Yep.
But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like that relationship building that you're doing, like you're letting your work speak for yourself. Yep. And you just said, they got onto you because they needed someone in a hurry, and, you're going through a list at the start. You probably weren't their first choice, right? But
no.
Most likely not. You got the opportunity.
Yeah.
And all because, you paid $20 to boost a post and you were available.
Yeah.
And you're willing to get out there and, do some work at some odd times or whatever.
Yep.
And then, like, what? They feed you work from there and...
Yeah, like, they'd just be happy with the work. And from then, they'd just be like, keeping your number. I'll call you if anything else comes up. And a lot of places I just picked up like that, and it just started from there. Started getting all their work.
Where the hell does the work ethic come from, man? For you? Like, did it get drummed into you as a kid, or like where? Yeah,
Dad's always been a hard worker. I think just being around it and just just seeing you got to work for stuff you want pretty much. You got to work hard for it. Like I don't know, and I've seen that dream and I've just wanted it. Like I've just done all I can to chase it, kind of thing. So pretty much just you got to do what you got to do and pretty much just put in the hard yards.
Totally. So when you're in like a situation, because what I'm really trying to, I guess, make a point of here, and the whole reason why, I want to have these conversations is to bring this stuff to the surface.
Yeah.
I'm sure that you would agree, you and I mean, everyone, we're all just regular people.
Yep.
With the same sort of opportunities and
yeah, I suppose you've just got to...
I don't know, I kind of lost my train of thought. I got off into like a daydream just then.
Yeah, that's what happened to me before. Kind of tape it off, but... yeah, I don't know, it does take a lot of hard work. You've got to see your goals. You've got to have some goals and just really know what you want. Like, everyone can talk about it, and a lot of people think people with businesses have come from a background of a lot of money, and I can tell you that's definitely not the case.
Yeah.
My parents don't own a house, nothing like that, but growing up, I'm so thankful just because they always made sure we had what we needed and a lot of what we wanted. So
yep.
I'm really grateful that, we had that chance. That's probably the chance, that's probably the reason they never bought a house. But
yep.
Stuff like that. But just, I don't know, just makes you want to just make a difference. And, like a house is another goal. It's just, I want to get to that point of where at least start paying a house off just to have that feeling, just.
So that's a goal for you?
Yep, yeah, 100%.
Buying a house?
Yep.
Man, big move.
Yeah, definitely. But obviously the goal with that is too, because, I want the workshop on the same property, so.
Yep. So you're sort of looking more out of the city?
Yeah, I don't know, yeah. Kind of, I like the look of like Greenbank and stuff like that, those kind of areas. Just you have a little bit of land between you and your neighbours, but
yep.
Being the housing market and what it is, like I've probably got to start off small, get in there and get one of them house and land packages probably, or live there for some time and then try sell up, move on, and just slowly build up from there. But it's another thing I've always wanted, but it's just all dreams at this point. Putting everything I can really into this business just to try to get a steady flow and get some people working under me, because that's a massive jump on its own, just taking that leap. Like I tried it with a mate, and it was really bloody helpful. I loved having him around, but just the money flow, just isn't always there. I could go a couple of months without no invoices getting paid, so you got to stretch it out a bit. But
struggles.
Yeah, but I mean, that is how it is when you start with pretty well fuck all. But you just slowly get there. But see, I don't have, the good thing I see it is I don't have no big bloody business loan or something like that that I took out to start it off that I'm paying off. Nothing like that. It's just pretty well just started off and trying to build up. So
let's go into that. Like, what's your go with like debt and stuff like that? I mean, just so I can tell you, like, I was in heaps of debt, man, specifically with cars. I never had a business or whatever that I was putting it into. It was all just cars, and it was just my own stupid decisions because I was young and dumb and just wanted to.
Yeah, well, I'm still paying for it now. I was one of them typical young guys. I was doing my apprenticeship in and out of the mines and whatnot, and on pretty good money. So I think it was the day after my 18th, I took a 25 grand loan and bought a bloody VY V6, and it was complete Senator lookalike, and it's just one of them. And since then, it's just it gets down a bit and you top up. And I think the last time I'd done a debt consolidating, like a few years back, and kind of straightened things out, but I just suppose I've just made myself not get into any more. Like, just kind of haven't really been like paying extra to get stuff paid out of the way, but just kind of just taking day by day. And I've actually got a check, to be honest, but just to see how much, what kind of debt I am still in. But
so when did you sort of start to realize that what you were doing was like unsustainable? Like topping up loans and just getting whatever looks good, and
to the point of where,
like, how old were you when you sort of realized when you had to, like, you you consolidated debt? That's a positive move.
Yeah, definitely. And that was a few years back, but parents have always helped a lot. Just
Sort of like mid-20s?
Yeah, probably mid-20s. I started realising, like, it was just getting a bit hectic, and I started getting a hand off, like, mum and dad just to try and budget, just because it was paying off all these different things. And, like, I'd gone and financed a motorbike, but I still actually have that. I haven't ridden it for probably a year now, but
Yep.
it's pretty well brand new sitting at home, but just never wanted to get rid of it because it was one of them things that I actually bought off the showroom floor and paid off, and it's completely owned now. So just could never bring myself to getting rid of it. But yeah, I suppose it's just in the hard times you've just got to push through. Like, there's that many times where I'm like, I just want to go and just try and get a bloody bank loan or something and just have money there, so you're not waiting for customers and that. But then it does end up coming through, and at the end of the day you do end up still pushing through. But it just it is a bit of a struggle sometimes. But they say the first 3 years is the hardest. It's make or break pretty much. And I'm been doing it for 2 years, like, out on my own, and before that was probably, say, two years or so, like, out of the back of the ute, just drumming up the name. And it just got to the point of where I figured I'd have enough work to go out, and there was times of struggle, but just took the leap, pumped buddy advertising, and went from there.
It's a sick story, man. I love it, and I absolutely love, like, everything you're doing here and just what you're about. And it's kind of refreshing to see someone who has, like, goals and dreams and stuff, but who's actually willing to go through and trudge through a bit of shit in order to get what they want, and not make excuses, which, like, I've done, I think for young men, I kind of put words in your mouth before with, like, the whole mid-20s thing, but it's really like, I don't know, I don't know if you'd agree, but kind of like your early sort of when you finish school to about 25, your head's full of air, like, it's just full of, like, crazy ideas, and you don't actually knuckle down and become, like, more mature until later.
Nah, definitely not. I've lost count of the times I've said I wish I knew back then what I know now.
Yeah.
And just the changes I could have made, but then I'll look at it as, well, it's made me who I am today. So don't know whether you actually would, but
it's very true. I never thought about that.
Yeah, everything you do has made you, or everything you've done has made you who you are today. So you think like that, but then you think on the other hand, well, kind of glad it has gone the way it's gone. It's turning out for the best, and shows hard work does pay off. Eventually.
So what sort of, like, I guess, well, just going off the YouTube analytics, right? The YouTube tells you, like, what age group and stuff are watching the stuff that, you and I are sort of doing. And not many 18 to 25-year-olds are really in that. It's actually sitting at, for the last month on my channel, it's at 0%.
Yeah, right.
And it starts, like, the main age group, like 60% of the viewers are from 25 to, I could be butchering this, but it's like 25 to 30.
Yeah.
So, like, what I want to know is, do you have any advice for someone who might be, like, I guess in our position, really, like, watching this podcast and going, like, man, I can see, a lot of myself in Damo. Like, what would you say?
Pretty much just, like I've said, it's, you got to make a lot of sacrifices, a lot of hard work. I mean, I was young and I'd got in with some pretty bad crowds and just a lot of partying and stuff like that, and always think back to if I got my head screwed on a bit earlier, where I'd be now. But everyone has that phase, I suppose, where they, after school and just they're, young and dumb and do some stupid stuff. But I don't know, I suppose a bit of advice would just be to just, if there's something you definitely want, and like me, like I'd had dreams about it and get that fuzzy feeling, like just when you're thinking about your goals and just being there one day, and just it's pretty much hard work and sacrifice, and just you got to know what you want. You've got to make some goals, even if they're small ones. Just to start kicking some goals in towards it in towards the direction that you want to take, and and just do something that has something to do with where you want to be. Like I wanted a workshop starting to build motors and stuff. That's just starting to come about. Like I've built a few now, but finally getting a room, and just it all starts feeling pretty unreal, like when you're in this bloody point. But it's really a lot of hard work. Like you've got to put your mind to it. You've got to want it like really bad, and just there is some sacrifices. There is those nights you're not going to be able to go drinking with the boys, or go uptown, or just there's some things you got to sacrifice. And I've still never left the country. Like, but
do you want to?
Yeah, I've always said there's some places I want to see, but I've always been one of them people that's always said, I'd really like to see Australia too as well. Yeah. I've only been up, this side of Australia, like down as far as Bendigo and stuff like that. And, there's just still a lot here, but you've just got to knuckle down, really, really put in the work, and just, make some goals. Make some small goals, and just start kicking them, start getting somewhere towards you want. And sometimes it feels like you're getting nowhere. Like the first few years just working out of my ute, it felt like I was doing the same shit every day. Didn't really have much more money, but building up tools and stuff like that, and just building up the presence and
relationships with
exactly people. Like just starting to get known, and and just getting the name out of there. And then after it took, like I said, it took 3 years of just on the side, just taking whatever I could. Some were shit jobs, and some you didn't really make too much profit out of, but to get the name out, you got to do what you got to do. And it's just a lot of hard work.
I love it, man. It's perfect, and I mean it's exactly what you're doing.
Yep. And I mean, and if you love doing it like I do, sometimes it doesn't seem like hard work. Like just because I love doing it, love being down here, love anything to do with cars, trucks, anything with an engine, pretty much. Yep. So it's not that hard for me to put in that effort just because I love doing it. But I mean, if you can get paid for doing something you love, I mean, like what else do you need? Like other than a lot of money, but if you're making a living off what you love doing, then you're definitely kicking goals.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more. Absolutely, man. I'll be respectful of both your and my time. Yep. We'll leave it there.
Yeah, no dramas.
But man, I personally want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your
that's no dramas at all.
And also your week, just the help, like just in the last, week and a half with my car. Yep. Just unbelievable. Like honestly unbelievable. So thank you.
No, that's all good. It's any time. I just love doing it.
And I have no doubt that in the future, we're gonna see, more of like your work and your name out there because you've got that drive.
Yeah, well, but I hope so. Like my goal is it's just to see my name out there. Even that feels like I'm winning. Like just at the moment, I'm starting to get a few stickers out there at the moment out at Power Cruise, and I've actually had a few people come up and just say they see the car out there a lot, and they've actually, just see that it doesn't stop, and like so you start building up a few people, and that's what feels good to me. Like just having people know you, having people fucking just that love your car, love what you're doing, think you're putting on an insane show, like. It's just definitely gives you those good feelings. Like
awesome, man.
And definitely big things to come. And I've always wanted to get out there into the videos and whatnot, and just very, very shy myself. Like even doing this took a lot.
You'll get used to it, man. And you did a fantastic job. Like I'm sure the guys would agree. Let us know in the comments, how did Damo do? Like literally only been on a camera.
This will be the first time anything like this. Like,
yeah.
It definitely gets the nerves going at the start, but once you get a bit of a roll, and
it's not so bad.
Nah, it's pretty natural, but there's definitely hopefully more from me to see. And
well, man, I can tell you we're going to do another one of these. I don't know whether it's going to be 6 months, could be end of the year. To around about 12 months, but we're going to do another one, and I just think it'd be interesting to see,
see the difference,
then and now kind of thing.
Yeah,
like
definitely.
And obviously as well, like the weekly videos. I put out weekly videos on my channel, and you know, being involved with the stuff that you're doing. It's awesome content, man. We got to get that shit out there, man.
Oh yeah, and I love it. I love doing it, but just, you know, doing it in video and
there's so many like
complete two different things.
Aussie YouTube channels that are just going nuts right now.
Yeah, definitely.
Michael Hinchy with Picnic Media. Shout out to him. It got that massive blown LS VF or whatever wagon.
Right,
He at the time of recording this, he's just released his first skid vid. Where they got it running in that. Nugget Garage.
Seen them.
Those guys are in Brisbane as well, like Cleveland, Cleveland Exhaust or whatever.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Who else? What is it? The Skid Factory. Al and Woody, Skid Factory, they're up at Noosa.
Yeah, rightio.
So there's lots happening in Brisbane. There's
definitely.
Like the whole Golby's crowd.
Yeah, that's pretty big.
There's Motorsport Accessories, who I'm good mates with Mick there. Like there's so much going on in Brisbane, man, and I think it's getting bigger.
Oh, definitely, and that's another reason I love being down here. It's just you're so close to all the car scene, and there is always something to do. There's plenty of events around and stuff, so yeah, it's pretty well perfect for everything I want to do and
easy
get out there.
Easy access to parts and people and jobs and
and just, you know, not only love doing it, I love building them as well. So just seeing all these wild and crazy toys, and you know, and just, you know, I'd love people to be able to come to me and just, you know, dreaming of building something, you know, make it happen kind of thing. Just definitely love the weird and wacky toys.
If that's you, we'll leave a link to like all your socials and stuff. We'll put it in the description. Part of B. Anyone who wants any work done or whatever, even just wants to come down and
come down for a chat, like have a look at some of the toys.
And you also said you might be like in the future organising a meet or something down here. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I've wanted to look into that. Like I've always just looked into getting out there in any way kind of thing. Like I've actually want to look into like even the own car club eventually. Eventually start our own car club. But one of the next things I was looking at was just something small, probably of all the cars I've built, trying as many as I can back, and just all the motors I've built and whatnot, and kind of do a bit of a meet and greet day or something like that, you know, so people come down and see what I've built, see what I can do. I'm pretty sure a lot of people would be pretty impressed. And
beverages.
Some drinks and put on a barbecue and just everywhere, catch up, you know. Meet people in person.
Man, let's do it. Like it's happening. It's going to happen. Thanks again, man.
No dramas at all. Happy to be here.
All right.
Cheers.